into my silence, left your voice out in the rain. I thought if I walked away slowly, I could outrun the pain. The room still knows how you stood here, like you might turn around. Every goodbye I rehearsed still never made a sound. I loved you more than I should, and less than I deserved. This is my pain, goodbye. No anger, no fight, just a heart learning how to survive the night. I'm letting you go with tears in my eyes, but love in my veins still remains. This is my pain, goodbye. Soft, but it hurts the same. You stayed when the signs were screaming, yet your heart was halfway gone. I kept believing in forever while you were moving on. You held me like you were leaving, even when you said you'd stay. I learned how silence can break you in the slowest way. I stopped asking you to choose and finally chose myself. This is my pain, goodbye. Not bitter, not loud, just truth settling in like a heavy cloud. I won't chase what won't return or beg for love to remain. This is my pain, goodbye. And I'm walking through the pain. If loving you was my mistake, I'd still make it once again. Some hearts don't learn through warnings, they learn when it ends. I gave you all my softness, you gave me the truth that sometimes loving deeply means learning to lose. Soft pain, goodbye. Still holding on, then letting go. This is my pain, goodbye. I'm breaking, but I'm free. I'm leaving behind what hurt me, but keeping what love taught me. If you ever hear my name in the quiet after rain, oh, I said my pain goodbye and survive the pain. Some good lies don't heal the heart, they teach it how to keep beating. halfway gone. I kept believing in the silence, calling, waiting, holding on. I folded hope into excuses, told myself you'd come around. I learned how lonely love can feel when it doesn't make a sound. I gave you chances, not demands. I broke quietly in your hands. I stayed broken hearted while you slept at ease. I loved you in pieces, you barely noticed me. I waited for a miracle you never tried to be. I stayed broken hearted so you wouldn't leave. You held my hand like it was temporary, like it had an end in sight. I felt you drifting further away, even when you said I'm fine. I learned your distance like a habit, breathed it in, called it love. I gave you more than I had left, and still it wasn't enough. I kept forgiving every doubt till there was nothing left to give. I stayed broken hearted in the name of us. I carried all the weight while you gave up. I believed in what we were, you believed in maybe. I stayed broken hearted so you wouldn't leave me. If loving you meant losing me, I wish I'd known before. Some hearts don't break all at once, they wear thin to the core. I don't blame you for walking away, I blame myself for staying. When love asks you to disappear, it's already fading. Broken hearted, still standing somehow. I stayed broken hearted, but I won't stay here anymore. I'm choosing healing over hope. I've outgrown this war. If you ever think of me in the quiet where we fell apart, no, I loved you till it hurt too much. Stayed broken hearted. Some goodbyes come late after the heart has already said goodbye. I saw the warning in your eyes, but told myself I'd be alright. Love can fix what's breaking, right? That's what I believe tonight. You started pulling back your hands like mine were burning you. I kept reaching anyway, like I had something left to prove. You said it's just a phase we're in, but phases shouldn't feel like this. I was losing pieces of myself just to keep your kiss. I stayed until it hurt, until I couldn't breathe, until my heart was begging me to finally let you leave. I called it love, I called it worth, but I stayed until it hurt. I watched you drift away and told myself it's fine. I broke a little more each day just to keep you mine. I held on long past what we were. I stayed until it hurt. I stopped asking where you were, stopped asking what was wrong, started shrinking who I was just to help you hold on. I memorized your silence the way you wouldn't try. I kept loving loudly while you loved me quietly. I thought endurance meant devotion, thought pain meant I was strong. But love shouldn't feel like begging someone to belong. I stayed until it hurt, until the tears ran dry, until the mirror didn't know the girl behind my eyes. I gave you everything, from soul to shirt. I stayed until it hurt. I thought if I just loved you more, you'd finally see my worth. But you can't heal a fading heart, no matter how you search. I held on long past what we deserve. I stayed until it hurt. Was I scared of being alone, or scared to start again? Did I confuse the fear of loss with fighting to the end? Sometimes letting go is braver than holding on to dirt. Sometimes walking away is how you stop the hurt. I stayed until it hurt, until there was nothing left, until my love felt like a debt I couldn't collect. You were already gone from the start, but I kept offering my heart. Now exactly when to speak and when to let things be. She memorized your favorite song, sang it when your days were long, held your heavy heart like it was hers all along. She wore patience like a crown, never let it hit the ground. She thought if she loved you right, you'd stay and fight. She was the girl who tried through every sleepless night, through every tear she had to hide, just to keep you by her side. She was the girl who tried to fix what you denied, to hold together something you were letting slide. She gave you all she had inside. She was the girl who tried. She softened every word she spoke, turned her pain into a joke, so you wouldn't feel attacked when you were pulling back. She blamed herself for every crack, carried doubt upon her back, defended you to everyone, even when you lacked. She shrank to fit your fear, hoping you would see her clear. She thought endurance meant love was strong, didn't know she was holding on alone. She was the girl who tried when walking away was pride, when staying felt like slowly letting pieces of her die. She was the girl who tried through every almost goodbye, through promises that lost their weight in tears she'd never cry. She kept believing you'd decide. She was the girl who tried. Now she looks back at that girl with tenderness instead, because trying wasn't weakness, it was loving with no one. She wasn't foolish, she was brave, forgiving everything she gave. But love needs two to truly survive, and she can't be the only one who tries. She tried, and that was enough. She was the girl who tried, but she won't apologize for loving deep and wide, or keeping hope alive. She was the girl who tried, and even though she cried, she walked away with all her heart still open, still alive. You couldn't meet her where she stood, but that don't mean she's wrong. She was the girl who tried, and now she's moving on. She still believes in love. She just won't be the only one who walls inside my room. Every corner held a memory. Every memory held you. I talked to silence like it answered, like you were listening somewhere. But love don't echo back when nobody's there. I kept your picture on my dresser, even when it hurt to see how something that once felt forever could end so easily. I thought my heart would never cope. I thought goodbye meant no more hope. But I'm breathing with hope, even with tears in my throat, even with cracks in my soul. I'm learning to let you go. I'm healing with hope, though it hurts more than you know. Every goodbye broke me slow, but it won't break me whole. I lost you, but I didn't lose hope. I blame myself for your leaving, like love was mine to fix. Like if I had just loved you harder, we wouldn't end like this. But love's not something you can beg for or hold if it won't stay. And sometimes letting go is the bravest thing you say. I used to think the dark would win, that I'd never feel light again. But pain can plant a stronger seed if you let your heart still believe. So I'm breathing with hope, even when nights feel cold, even when memories unfold like wounds that won't close. I'm standing with hope, though my hands still shake, though my smile sometimes breaks. I'm stronger than yesterday. I lost you, but I found my home. Maybe love isn't measured by how long it stays. Maybe it's measured by the strength it gave. You were a lesson wrapped in a dream, and breaking with you is rebuilding me. I'm not who I was the night you left, and that's okay. Now I'm rising with hope, through the ache, through the smoke, through the pieces you broke. I'm finding my own. I'm loving with hope, not afraid anymore of closing a door to open something more. I lost you, but I found my hope. With hope in my chest, with scars on my heart, I'm not falling apart. I'm healing with hope. With hope. it was something you could keep. You held me like I mattered, and let go in my sleep. I loved you without armor, with every open scar. You walked away untouched. I stayed to pick up parts. You said I'd be okay, like pain just fades with time. But you never saw the damage you left behind. You left me healing from wounds you never felt. You left me bleeding, trying to save myself. I gave you more than love. I gave you everything. You walked away whole. You left me healing. I replayed every moment, looking for where I failed. I learned how to stop calling when silence always answered me back. I wore my heartbreak quietly, so no one saw me fall. I was fighting for my life. You weren't fighting at all. You said this hurts me too, but you were already free. I was drowning in the aftermath of loving you and losing me. You left me healing with your words stuck in my hands. You left me shaking in the nights you never read. I held on when it was killing me. You let go so easily. You moved on smiling. You left me healing. Maybe love isn't supposed to break you. Maybe staying wasn't brave. Maybe I mistook your distance for something I could save. Now I'm learning how to breathe again in the quiet you left behind. I'm stitching up the pieces of a heart you didn't try to mind. I didn't fall apart when you left. I fell apart trying to survive the loss of you. You left me healing, but I'm still standing here. You left me healing, facing every fear. I'll love again, but differently, with careful hands and clearer sight. You broke my heart and walked away, but I stayed and learned to fight. You left me healing. You left me healing. If you ever wonder who I became after you walked away so clean, I'm the girl who'll live again from everything you did to me. gave you room, I gave you time. I crossed my heart with every line. I learned your fears like they were mine. Defended you every single time. I held you close when you felt small. You never caught me when I'd fall. I gave you faith you never earned. Still waited while you never learned. Oh, I loved you fully. You loved me some. Enough to stay, not enough to come undone. I gave you truth, you gave me doubt. I stayed all in, you kept one foot out. I built my life around your moods. You loved me safely, I loved you true. I gave you everything in me. You never loved me fully. I softened my voice so you wouldn't leave. Called it patience, called it belief. I turned your distance into my blame. Said he's just scared, not he's unchanged. I begged for effort, you begged for space. I chased your maybe at my own pace. I waited for you to finally choose, while slowly losing pieces of me too. I thought if I loved you hard enough, you'd wake up ready for real love. I loved you fully. You loved me some. Enough to stay, not enough to come undone. I gave you truth, you gave me doubt. I stayed all in, you kept one foot out. I built my life around your moods. You loved me safely, I loved you true. I gave you everything in me. You never loved me fully. Maybe love isn't half a heart. We're standing still at the starting mark. Maybe I wasn't asking too much. I was just asking for real love. I don't regret the love I gave. I regret staying where love was afraid. I loved you fully, and now I see that loving me should have been easy. I won't beg someone to meet me halfway, or wait for love that's scared to stay. I'll save my heart, my truth, my fire for someone brave enough to try. I loved you fully, honestly. You just didn't love me fully. I loved you fully, and that was real, even if you weren't. You used to reach across the bed, find my hand without a word. Now there's a pillow in between, like silence needs to be heard. We talk about the weather, about everything but us. I feel you slipping through my fingers like sand that won't be touched. You say I'm right here, don't you see? But you're nowhere near to me. Your body stayed, your heart just froze, and I was loving you alone. You didn't stay close, no, when I needed you the most. You stayed just far enough away to say you didn't go. You didn't stay close, your arms were there but empty. Your words were soft but distant, like you were scared to feel me. I was holding on with hope while you were letting go. You didn't leave the room, but you didn't stay close. I tell you something on my mind. You'd nod but never ask me why. I'd cry beside you in the dark. You'd turn and say I'll be alright. We stopped laughing at the same joke, stopped dreaming out loud. Somewhere in between the quiet, we forgot what love's about. You said I was overthinking, but I was just overhurting. Love isn't just staying near, it's choosing to be here. You didn't stay close, no one forever needed both of us to fight through doubt. Instead of letting go, you didn't stay close. You built a wall in whispers and left me on the outside, begging just to enter. I would have walked through any storm if you just held me so. You didn't walk away, but you didn't stay close. I don't miss your touch, I miss the way you used to feel. Like I was your first thought, like what we had was real. There's nothing colder than almost losing someone while they're still right there. I kept asking for your heart, but you kept offering air. You were beside me, but I was alone. You didn't stay close when I was breaking slow, and I needed reassurance. You just let me go. You didn't stay close, and that's what hurts the most. Not that you left my side, but that you left my soul. I would have chosen you through it all, through every high and low. You didn't leave that night, but you didn't stay close. doesn't drift away? Who stays when it's hard? Who stays close? Always. You used to trace my trembling hands like they were something rare. Used to hold me like the world could never take you there. But somewhere in the middle of the nights we used to talk, your voice turned into distance and your warmth began to stop. You stopped saying it's okay, started pushing me away. I could feel the change in you before I saw the proof. You didn't stay soft when loving me got hard. You built your walls higher, guarded up your heart. You didn't stay soft. You let your edges go where you once held me gently. You let the coldness show. I would have stayed through every storm we crossed, but you didn't stay soft. You'd roll your eyes when I would cry, like tears were something weak, like loving you too openly was asking you to speak. I started shrinking in your arms, afraid to need too much. A love shouldn't feel like you're begging just for touch. You said I was too sensitive, but as you stopped being considerate, I kept trying to stay warm while you became the storm. You didn't stay soft, and we began to break instead of holding tighter. You let the silence take. You didn't stay soft. You turned your back on care, like tenderness was fragile, and you refused to share. I would have fought for us at any cost, but you didn't stay soft. I don't blame you for the ending. Sometimes love runs thin, but I blame the way you changed, the way you hardened it. You didn't have to bruise my heart to let it go. You didn't have to grow so cold. Softness isn't weakness, it's strength without a fight. And I would have stayed gentle through every single night. I stayed soft even when you didn't. You didn't stay soft, but I still am to lose the part of me that love without conditions or excuse. forever, like it was already ours, like nothing in this world could shake these fragile hearts. But when the nights got heavier and doubts began to grow, I was holding tighter while you were letting go. You said maybe this is too hard, like love was meant to be easy. I was ready for the storm, you were running from the rain. You didn't stay strong when love needed you most. You let fear take the wheel and turned into a ghost. You didn't stay strong when forever asked for faith. You chose the safer road and let our future break. I would have fought through every wrong, stood beside you all along, but you didn't stay strong. I saw the panic in your eyes every time we disagreed, like conflict meant collapse, not something we could lead. You'd shut down instead of talk, pull away instead of hold. I was begging you to stand with me, but your heart grew cold. Love isn't just the easy part, it's staying when it's dark. I kept believing we were brave while you were looking for escape. You didn't stay strong through tears and trembling hands, when loving meant commitment and taking a stand. You didn't stay strong, you let the pressure win, and I was left defending what you wouldn't step in. I would have carried us both if you just held on, but you didn't stay strong. Was I the only one who saw what we could have been? Was I the only one still choosing us in the end? I wasn't asking you for perfect, just courage, just truth. But loving someone deeply was something you couldn't do. It wasn't that we couldn't survive. Instead, you wouldn't try. I stayed. You didn't stay strong, and that's what broke my heart. Not that we had problems, but they didn't start to fight for what was real, to guard what we had grown. You let go of something rare and left me here alone. I would have chosen you through every doubt, through every high and low. But when love needed you to stand, you didn't stay strong. You didn't stay strong. Next time I'll choose someone who stays when it's hard, who stays when it's heavy, who stays strong. your photographs, but I couldn't pack the dreams. I tell myself you're just a past, but nothing's what it seems. Your side of the bed is colder now, but I still reach at night. Like maybe if I close my eyes, you'll be there in the light. My mind knows every reason why we couldn't stay, but my heart keeps rewriting what my head gave away. My heart still believes in the way you held me, in the words you said when you swore you'd never leave. Even though you walked away, even though you're gone, my heart still believes we weren't that wrong. It still waits for footsteps, still listens for your keys. My mind says let go, but my heart still believes. I try to call it closure, try to call it fate, but love doesn't disappear just because it's late. I see you in the smallest things, in songs I can't turn off, in every almost memory that still feels close enough. They say that time will heal me, that I'll be strong somehow, but healing doesn't mean I don't miss you now. My heart still believes in the way we laughed, in the promises we swore would last. Even if you change your mind, even if love deceives, my mind knows better, but my heart still believes. It still keeps your name in spaces it shouldn't keep. My pride says move on, but my heart still believes. Maybe love doesn't vanish, maybe it just hides, maybe it lingers quietly in the corners of our lives. I don't wanna want you, but I don't know how to leave, when every broken piece of me still believes. My heart still believes in second chances, in midnight calls, in reckless dances, in the way you looked at me like I was everything. Even if you're happier, even if you're free, my mind says it's over, that you're just a memory, but somewhere deep inside of me, my heart still believes. Still believes. I packed away your name. Every memory felt heavier than the tears I couldn't save. I sat alone with all the truth. I'd been too afraid to know that loving you was hurting me more than leaving ever could. I held on long past the sign. Tonight I finally read between the lines. This was the night I let go. No screaming, no goodbye, just a heart too tired to break. One more time, I didn't stop loving you, I just stopped holding on. This was the night I let go and chose to carry on. Your silence used to shake me like I'd done something wrong. Now it's just an empty echo where I don't belong. I replayed every what if till they lost their power over me. Some answers never come, but peace finally did. I forgave what we were and stopped begging for more. This was the night I let go of promises half made. I laid down all the hope that kept me in pain. I didn't erase the love or pretend it was gone. This was the night I let go and learned to move on. If loving you was my weakness, then letting go was my strength. Some goodbyes aren't endings, they're the start of what's next. I miss the way you felt like home, even when I felt alone. But I deserve a love that stays, not one I have to chase. So the night I let go still hurts, but I'm free. This was the night I let go. I cried, then I breathed again. I didn't lose who I was, I just found her then. If you ever wonder why I left or where my heart has gone, it stayed too long where it was breaking till the night I let go. Some hearts don't shatter to heal, they simply loosen their grip. the whispers in my mind, telling me to draw the line. But I kept stepping over it every single time. You pull away, I pull you close. Like distance was a test. I gave you parts of me I should've kept for myself. I saw the truth inside your eyes, but I chose your words instead. I called it fate, I called it fate. But I was just too scared to walk away. I loved you past tense, past every warning sign, past all the sleepless nights that told me something wasn't right. I loved you past tense, past pride and self-defense, past every tear I cried, trying to keep you mine. I knew it hurt, I knew it bent, I knew I was losing in the I loved you past tense. You'd say I'm too emotional, like feeling was a flaw, but loving you took everything, and still you wanted more. I shrank myself to fit your doubts, ignored what I deserved, turned red flags into roses, and silence into words. I kept defending you to me, like heartbreak's loyalty. I thought endurance meant I'd win, didn't know I was caving in. I loved you past tense, past every ounce of strength, past all the times you left and came back like nothing changed. I loved you past tense, past reason and common sense, past every this is it, I said and still forgave. I crossed the line I shouldn't cross, lost myself just to avoid the loss. I loved you past tense. Why do we stay when we know the cost? Why do we fight when we're already lost? Maybe I was chasing the man you could have been, instead of seeing clearly who you'd always been. It wasn't love that failed me, it was loving you too long. I knew, and I stayed. Yes, I loved you past tense, but I won't love like that again. I won't trade my worth for a chance to pretend. I loved you past tense, but now I understand. Love shouldn't make you question who you are or where you stand. I gave you everything I meant, and maybe that's my innocence. I loved you, I loved you past tense. Next time I'll love with open eyes, not just an open heart. should have known by the way you said my name, like it was something you could put down when it changed. You held me close, but never held me tight, like loving me was just for lonely nights. I traced your promises in the dark, built my home inside your fragile heart. You said this time will be different, trust me, but different never came for me. I keep mistaking almost for always, and falling for the words you don't say. I loved you wrong again, gave you my heart like it wouldn't bend, like you were more than a what if, more than a temporary fix. I let you in, let the walls cave in, ignore the cracks beneath my skin. I call it hope, but it's just pretend. I loved you wrong again. You'd pull me in when you felt alone, then push me out when your heart felt whole. I was the maybe you kept on hold, while chasing something made of gold. I stayed through silence, stayed through doubt, tried to be what you were without. I shrank myself so you could shine, but you still left me every time. I keep believing if I try harder, love won't leave me in the water. I loved you wrong again, turned your red flags to innocence, told myself I could fix this if I just loved you different. I let you in, let me lose again, dressed up pain like it was romance. I call it fate, but it depends. I loved you wrong again. Maybe I don't know what forever feels like, maybe I confuse intensity with right. I thought if I stay long enough you'd finally see my worth, but I was pouring everything into a love that hurt, and every time you walked away you took a little more. Now I don't recognize the girl I was before. Why do I keep choosing the ones who never choose me? I loved you wrong again, put you above my own defense, let you rewrite my confidence, like breaking me made sense. I let you in, let you pretend you'd be the one who wouldn't end. I should've known where this would bend. I loved you wrong again, but maybe loving wrong is how I learn what's right. Maybe one day I won't have to fight, I won't love we were just going through, a season we would outgrow. So I held tighter to your hand, afraid to let you go. I watched the distance in your eyes turn colder every day, but I kept telling my heart love will find a way. You started sleeping closer to the edge, like you were halfway gone, but I kept moving toward you even when it felt wrong. I stayed for love when I should have walked away, stayed through the silence, stayed through the pain. I told myself, this is what love does. It fights, it bends, it never runs. You were already leaving, I just couldn't see. You stopped choosing us, but I stayed for love, and love didn't stay for me. I memorized your shifting moods, learned how not to cry, swallowed every break in truth, every quiet goodbye. You needed space, you needed time, you needed room to breathe, but I was losing pieces of the girl I used to be. I called it strength to keep holding on, but sometimes strength is knowing when it's gone. I stayed for love when it hurt to stay, stay when the spark faded away. I built a home on fragile trust while you were turning us to dust. You were already leaving, I just couldn't see. You stopped believing, but I stayed for love, and love didn't stay for me. Was I loving you, or just loving who we were? Was I chasing memories that only I preferred? I thought if I just loved you more, you'd remember why you did. But you can't fix a fading heart, no matter how much you give. I stayed for love through every tear, through every night you disappeared. I held the pieces of what we'd begun while you let go of everyone. I don't regret the love I gave, even if it broke me. You walked away, you gave it up, I stayed for love, but love gave up on us. Ooh. it's just what lovers sometimes do. You stopped reaching for my hand, stopped making future plans, but I kept drawing hearts around a love that wasn't true. I heard the truth between your words, but silence felt less heard. I thought that if I held on tight, you'd remember why you tried. I stayed when I shouldn't, loved you when I knew I couldn't, turned every red flag into white and coded compromise. I stayed when I shouldn't, ignored the pain I understood, told myself it's just a phase while watching us unwind. I gave you more than you were giving, held on past the breaking point. I stayed when I shouldn't, and it broke me in the end. You'd say I just need space right now, like space don't tear a heart somehow. I waited like you'd circle back, like I was still your home. I shrank myself to fit your doubt, put my own needs on the shelf. I thought that love meant sacrifice, not losing who I am. Every time you crossed the line, I crossed my heart and called it fine. I was scared of being alone, more scared of letting go. I stayed when I shouldn't, kept believing that you would have fought for me the way I did if I just loved you more. I stayed when I shouldn't, sat in rooms that felt so wooden, where warmth was just a memory of who we were before. I tried to fix what you were killing while you were halfway out the door. I stayed when I shouldn't, till I couldn't anymore. Why do I confuse the pain with proof that love is real? Why do I wait for someone else to tell me how to feel? I was loyal to a fault line, standing on the edge, calling every crack devotion when it was just neglect. I knew, but I stayed when I shouldn't. But I won't say I regret it, because loving you that deeply taught me what I deserve. I stayed when I shouldn't, but I'm stronger than I was then. Now I know that walking away isn't giving up on love, it's choosing me above the ruin, choosing peace instead of pain. I stayed when I shouldn't, but I won't stay that way. silence or a smile I couldn't keep. Read between every sentence, still you wouldn't look at me. I tried to be softer than your past, stronger than pain. Though I'm tired of pretending, love don't hurt this way. I gave you all my best hours, all my late night prayers. Still somehow I'm standing in the middle of nowhere. I wasn't enough today, no matter how hard I stay. You needed more than my heart could give, more than my name. I watched you slip away, like I was easy to replace. I loved you honest, loved you true, but I wasn't enough today. Your shadows let my heart beat, your ghost slept in my bed. I held you when you broke down, but who holds me instead? You say you love me, but your eyes are already gone. I'm fighting for a feeling you've been losing all along. I bent until I almost broke, just to fit your world. Guess I forgot I mattered. Guess I forgot I'm a girl. I wasn't enough today, no matter how hard I prayed. You needed something I don't have, something I can't change. I watched you drift away, like I was just a face. I gave you everything I was, still wasn't enough today. Maybe love shouldn't feel like begging or proving I belong. Maybe I'm not hard to love, maybe you're just gone. I kept setting myself on fire just to keep you warm. Now I'm ashes in the mirror, just hate how small I feel when I loved you louder than you ever did. I wasn't enough today, but I was real in every way. I showed up with a bleeding heart. You looked the other way. So if you walk away, now there's truth I'll say. I wasn't perfect, wasn't easy, but I was enough someday. Tonight I let you go. Through tears I finally said I wasn't nothing, I just wasn't enough for you I gave you my Sundays, my late night feet, every truth I was too scared to say. I built a home in the sound of your voice while you were already walking away. I memorized the shape of your pain, held it gently like it was mine. But when I needed you the most, you ran out of love. I ran out of time. I loved you loud, I loved you true. You loved me when it was convenient too. I poured my heart into empty hands, hoping you'd finally understand. I waited where you never stood, believed in you like only I could. It was a love that didn't return. I stayed to freeze while you didn't burn. I broke in places you'll never see, chasing a love that wasn't chasing me. I wore my hope like it was armor, thought patience would make you stay, but loving you felt like holding fire. Every touch just burned away. You said my name like it meant something, but your actions never did. I kept forgiving all your silence. You kept choosing what you hid. I read between your every line, ignored the truth I didn't wanna find. I poured my heart into empty hands, prayed you'd love me like I planned. I waited where you never stood, believed in you like only I could. It was a long that didn't return. I learned the lesson the hard way. Learned I cried alone so you could breathe. Chasing a love that wasn't chasing me. Maybe I mistook your distance for pain. Thought I could heal what you wouldn't name. But love shouldn't feel like begging to be seen, or proving I'm enough just to be chosen. I would've stayed through every storm, but you never built the wall. So when it all came crashing down, I was the only one who fell. I loved you more than I loved myself. That's the part that hurts the most. I lost my voice, I lost my ground, trying not to lose you. I poured my heart into empty hands, not learning how to take it back. I stood alone where we should have been, still loving you in past tense. It was a love that didn't return, but I'm rising from the way I burned. I won't stay where I'm unseen. I'm done chasing a love that won't choose me. I didn't fail at loving you. You failed to love me too. I was the one who stayed up waiting for your headlights in the dark, counting every silent second like it wouldn't break my heart. You'd kiss my cheek like it was nothing, like goodbye was just a phase. But your arms were always leaving, even when you said you'd stay. I felt it fading in your touch, but I kept holding on too much. You loved me last, after the whiskey, after the past, after the dreams you were chasing fast, when there was no one left to ask. You loved me last, like I was second to everything, like I was safe but never your dream. I gave you all I had, but you loved me. You loved me last. say, baby, you're my always, but you never change your ways. I watched you light up for the strangers while I didn't to keep the peace. I was fighting for your attention, you were fighting to be free. I should have walked away that night, but love can make a fool feel right. You loved me last after the parties, after the laughs, after the girls that moved too fast, when all the good things never lasted. You loved me last, like I was warm but never the spark, like I was home but not your heart. I gave you all I had, but you loved me. You loved me last. Was I just someone who stayed too long, a safe place when everything went wrong? You held my hand when you were scared, but never when you didn't need repair. I was your shelter from the storm, but never who you choose at dawn. And that's the part that hurts the most. I was your maybe, not your close. I was your comfort, I was your calm, but never the one you held too long. You loved me last when the music stopped, when the nights went black, when every high turned into crash. That's when you'd finally come back. You loved me last, like I was easy to understand, like I'd forever wait with open hands. But I finally understand, I deserve a love that puts me first, not one that saves me for the worst. You loved me last, but I won't be last again. You loved me last, but now I'm choosing first, even if it hurts. I learned the art of holding back, of swallowing what I feel, of smiling through the heavy air, pretending I could heal. You never liked it when I cried, said I made things hard. So I folded up my aching heart and kept it in the dark. I turned my volume down for you, so you wouldn't feel accused. I thought that love was gentle still, not something loud or shrill. So my love stayed quiet, even when it hurt inside. that patience would be proof that someday you choose true. I didn't wanna push too hard, so I broke in smaller parts, and my love stayed quiet. Through every lonely night, through every almost argument, I was too scared to fight. My love stayed quiet even when I knew that silence only made it easier for you to lose. I held us up on whispered prayers while you were stepping back. My love stayed quiet till it slowly cracked. Maybe if I'd screamed a little, you would have seen my tears. Maybe if I'd shaken the room, you would have faced your fears. But I was scared that raising my voice would make you disappear. So I kept choosing peace while losing what was here. Love shouldn't need to whisper to be heard. I was quiet, but I felt everything. My love stayed quiet, but I won't silence it again. I won't hide my aching heart to make somebody comfortable within. My love stayed quiet, and maybe that was brave to love without demanding. Even when it wasn't safe, you couldn't hold the way I love. It doesn't mean it's wrong. My love stayed quiet, but it was strong. Next time my love won't whisper, it will stand and be heard.